Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. Remember when I said to you that there's always going to be something going on? Well, I certainly wasn't wrong. All right. That's why now is the time to subscribe, stay with us, and share with your friends because, again, there's just going to be so much to talk about. And I want to talk about the breaking news about Special Counsel Jack Smith. He just moved to drop both of the Trump federal cases. Now, let me begin by reminding you that the first one was the January 6th insurrection. And we're going to get into that one because there were like 1,000 witnesses and millions of documents and months, no, years worth of work that was done on that being dropped. There's also, of course, the Mar-a-Lago documents case, which hands down was the easiest case to have proven of all the 4 indictments that came out against Trump. So let me start by showing you Special Counsel Jack Smith's motion. In it, of course, United States of America versus Donald Trump, the government's motion to dismiss. As a result of the election held on November 5th of 2024, the defendant, Donald J. Trump, will be inaugurated as president on January 20th, 2025. It has long been the position of the Department of Justice that the United States Constitution forbids the federal indictment and subsequent criminal prosecution of a sitting president. But the department and the country have never faced the circumstance here where a federal indictment against a private citizen has been returned by a, next page, grand jury and a criminal prosecution is already underway when the defendant is elected president. Confronted with this unprecedented situation, the Special Counsel's Office consulted with the Department's Office of Legal Counsel, the OLC, whose interpretation of constitutional questions, such as those raised here, is binding on department prosecutors. So after careful consideration, the department has determined that OLC's prior opinions concerning the Constitution's prohibition on federal indictment and prosecution, that's the key word, prosecution of a sitting president, applied to this situation, and that as a result of this prosecution must be dismissed before the defendant is inaugurated. That prohibition is, next page, categorical and does not turn on the gravity of the crimes charged, the strength of the government's proof, or the merits of the prosecution, which the government stands fully behind. Based on the department's interpretation of the Constitution, the government moves for dismissal without prejudice of the superseding indictment under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 48 subparens A. The government has conferred with defense counsel who does not object to this motion. Now, I want to be very clear about something. There's the whole part there where they're saying that the government was right in bringing the prosecution and so on. Here's the problem. Delay in bringing the prosecution. They spent forever before which Merrick Garland finally brought Jack Smith on. They spent forever before which they finally put forth the recommendation for the indictment. And by the time it finally came through, he was already expected to be, if not already, the Republican nominee for the presidency of the United States. Now, which case, again, I said, is the easiest one to have proven? And that, of course, is the Mar-a-Lago documents case. And that doesn't mean that the other people that were involved are not still going to be prosecuted. This solely references and is related to Donald J. Trump, none of the other people. So once again, more people will end up going down as a direct result for the benefit of and at the direction of Donald J. Trump. Now, you may be saying to yourself, where have I heard somebody talk about this, that these cases are all going to be dismissed? Well, you heard it from me. You heard it from me here, right here on the Michael Cohen Show. You also heard it on my Mea Culpa podcast. You've heard me talk to Ben about it on our Political Beatdown podcast, our live YouTube show. And why did I say it? Because facts matter. Reality. We are all living in the world of reality. That's where we should be. So too many people are living in fantasy land. They think that they're in Orlando and Disneyland and they're sleeping in Cinderella's castle. No, no. This is exactly what happens. You know the old expression, right? Justice delayed is justice denied. That's exactly what happened here. Now, you do have the Alvin Bragg case. There's a criminal conviction, but it looks as if, though, Donald is not going to be suffering any consequences or accountability from that because of the Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity. Donald will be inaugurated on January 20th. There's no doubt in my mind that since especially now they have postponed the sentencing definitively for till at least 2029, till after he finishes, there's a likely chance, a better than likely chance, there will be no accountability despite the fact DA brought the case, 22 witnesses. I was, of course, one of them. You're talking about 12 jurors, 6 alternates. You're talking about 34 counts. Those will ultimately go away, and he will not have felon status because in order to become a felon, you need to be sentenced. That case right now is on a complete and indefinite hold. There is also a motion pending before Judge Merchan that states that he's going to make a determination on early December, regarding a dismissal of the case altogether. All right. Who knows what Judge Merchan's going to do? I don't even want to try to guess. These 2 cases, gonzo. I'm talking about the Jack Smith cases we just talked about, the January 6th and the Mar-a-Lago documents case, which leaves but one left. Yeah. The Georgia case, the Fani Willis, Georgia District Attorney. All right, that case on the interference in the election. Well, what do you think's happening with that case? I don't know. Fani Willis had a relationship with the prosecutor. That one was ultimately delayed. In fact, not only was it delayed, the judge actually took it off the calendar. So when I had said that as a result of not just the Supreme Court determination on presidential immunity, but also the fact that he won the election, something nobody thought was going to happen. Well, it did. And not only, of course, did he beat all the odds in terms of that, as a direct result, there will be, in my estimation, no accountability or almost no accountability at all. So for now, 3+ years, we have all been sitting and listening to the pundits on television talking about the accountability. The worst case of them all happened to have been the Manhattan District Attorney case, again, the one that I was a witness in, a key witness in. So all the work that was done, all of the sweat and the tears and the money expended by all of us, the witnesses, the court, the cities, all of that was for naught. Why? Because, again, the delay in bringing the indictments and bringing the prosecution in an expeditious manner, allowing the delays, the judges just slow walking all of this shit day in and day out. This is the reality that we live in. And it's important that we live in the reality, not fantasy land, based upon which side of the aisle that you sit. If, of course, you are a Trump supporter, this is the greatest news of all time. Once again, Donald Trump wins, which just goes to show you the whole thing was a fucking witch hunt. But if you're on the other side of the aisle, basically it goes to show you that there are different sets of rules, different laws for different people. And that's why our Justice Department needs such a major overhaul. Suffice it to say, this is the reality. This is what we, as a collective community, need to be talking about to ensure that if more of this sort of stuff happens, when he ultimately becomes president of the United States, we will have a big enough community so that we can make a difference, so that our voices can be heard, and that the law is applied equally to everyone. And as always, my friends, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.